Oh, baby. Jewel is pumping like my dopamine when George and Crypto Crow are talking about DeFi Kingdoms. Let's go. Why? Why is Jewel pumping? Why was yesterday Jewel the #1 top gainer in the entire top 500 coins on the day, not just the day, the #1 gainer on the 7-day as well? DeFi Kingdoms Jewel. Why? Well, is there some big new update? Is that why? Well, we do have the game. A little tiny dinky little piece of the game, the Boar Hunts PvE, is out. All right? And that's just like 1/100th of the game. There's so much more coming. Is that why Jewel's pumping? What do you guys think? That's what we're going to talk about today, baby. Let's go. Also, is this just a random pump like a meme coin? We've been seeing all these random pumps. We're like, why is this or that pumping? Doesn't make sense. Is there real fundamentals behind the project of DeFi Kingdoms? Or did this just come out of nowhere like a meme coin? It's like 6x'd over the last week. Now there's even people dumping back down. It's taking a little bit of a breather here today, I noticed. Okay. And so are we just going to see a big pump and dump? What's actually going on with DeFi Kingdoms? And should we buy more? Should we buy more Jewel? Where's it going to go to? Does it still have huge upside? Does it still have huge monster upside? We're going to talk all about it right now. First of all, what I look for, my whole shtick, this is what I look for. Projects with strong core values. Teams that follow that golden rule. They look out for the best interests of others, even over their own best interests. They don't look at the 5 minutes in front of their face, just trying to make a quick buck, but teams that have a strong why, a strong vision that's driving them. They have a passion. They're in it to solve a problem or create a fun game, and it's their passion. They have strong vision, a strong why, that ethos of the golden rule. Also, I look for projects that have awesome tokenomics, that are long-term sustainable, and that have tokenomics that have a strong use case. That's what I look for in crypto projects. The whole reason why I started my channel was this, to find those crypto projects, not the meme coins. I'm not against meme coins, no problem. Okay, but I want to find the real deal projects that are going to last, that have a strong team. Okay? And what happened was with DeFi Kingdoms, there's a bunch of FUD coming at the team. It happened in May of 2022, last year, about a year and a half ago. And a bunch of people overblew what was called a mining exploit. It was way overblown. Yes, it was a problem. It was fixed. The team was addressing it, but it was way overblown. Also, Frisky Fox was accused of being a rug pull, and it was all total BS. When I looked at DeFi Kingdoms, I saw this back before I really knew. I didn't really know what was going on, but I just knew in my gut, this team is one of the best teams I've ever seen in crypto. So I couldn't help myself. I was a total head case. I couldn't help myself, though. It got me up out of bed. I had to come to the defense of this team, DeFi Kingdoms, Frisky Fox, my boy, Dreamer, Hubert, the dream team of all dream teams, Beetle Dude, Magnus. Okay, I couldn't help myself because what I saw in the team was, I noticed a few things, which is super common in crypto. Most crypto projects, when it comes to messaging, PR, communication, they're just not out there. They're off. It's like they're big brains devs. They're gifted at what they do. But when it comes to actually running a business, first of all, these guys haven't ever started businesses from scratch. They're big brains devs. They're not business guys. They're not marketers. Okay? They're big brains guys. And I noticed, man, they weren't, they did actually do their best to get out in front of that FUD. They do weekly AMAs. They talked all about it. But were they really out there? Okay, all the big people in crypto went all the way up to George and Banter with Hustle. All those guys were just reporting the news. They were just reporting what they heard. They didn't really know what was going on, but it just became a widespread, well-known narrative that Frisky Fox doesn't look like this project is going to survive. And Frisky Fox, by the way, was like going through a total nervous breakdown. I can only imagine his PTSD these days. Okay. And so it was just like mayhem going on. And then on top of that, like the hell that this team has been through, on top of that, you know, they were deeply ingrained in the Terra Luna ecosystem as well, as was I. Okay. It was part of they had Terra on the Harmony blockchain and UST. It was and a lot of the team was in there. Okay. And that hurt us. And then on top of that, they had the Harmony bridge hack. They had this FUD event, and it was like a 99.9% exodus out of the ecosystem is what happened. And I was like, this is like not right. Like just justice driven. I couldn't help myself but rise up and defend the team and start reaching out to all these YouTubers, okay, that just reported the FUD but didn't really know on the like deep what was really going on, and say, no, this is like, I view DeFi Kingdoms as a once in a lifetime type of project, okay? You don't very often find teams like the team of DeFi Kingdoms. And so I saw how I can come in and help when it comes to messaging and getting out there. I noticed with Charles Hoskinson, one thing he just does so well is he addresses FUD against Cardano and takes it head on, and he's out there. And he's already well known, so it's easy. All he's got to do is turn on the YouTube channel, and everybody sees what's going on. And he's managed, even though, you know, it's taken him quite a long time to develop the thing out, his vision, but he keeps at it, and he communicates what's going on, and it's seen by everybody. Well, DeFi Kingdoms is out there doing their weekly AMAs, which is better than almost anything else. You don't hardly ever see people doing that. Now, some teams are doing better with that. We've been seeing it here recently. Okay. And so DeFi Kingdoms, they addressed it. They addressed it on their AMA extensively. It was very extensively addressed, but all that largely went unheard. It wasn't known. And so they needed somebody reaching out to everybody to set the record straight, to get out in front of the FUD and deal with it. But they're dealing with all this stuff. Frisky Fox is having a nervous breakdown. He's like, man, everybody's hating on him. He went from being at the top of the world to being a villain, okay? And it's easy for all these people out there talking straight out of their rear end. It's easy to point fingers and hate on people like that. But hey, why don't you do it? Why don't you try and go start a project? You might think you know, but until you've done it, you don't know. And so, to be fair, the team did their best. And then the Harmony Bridge hack and Voyager and all this stuff, which was absolutely, utterly devastating. The Harmony Bridge hack was the most devastating thing that's ever happened to the team. They had all these things happen all right in a row, back to back to back. I can tell you right now, there's hardly a team in existence that would have survived what DeFi Kingdoms has had to survive. Take that to the bank. And sure enough, as time went on, as the more I dug, the more I got to know the team, the more I spent time with the team, the more it just confirmed what my gut was telling me, that this is a dream team. It's not fair. It's not right what was going on. All the narratives against them were BS. And it just further set my resolve to go to bat for the team, to fight for them. And so finally, at last, people are starting to pull their heads out of their sphincters, okay, and start to take a look. George is talking about it. Crypto Crow's talking about it. But guess what we still see? All over the place, all over Twitter, everywhere, people are still, remember the narrative that DeFi Kingdoms is a rug pull and all this BS. Hey, listen, DeFi Kingdoms is not a rug pull. Frisky Fox did not steal money. All that's BS. That's in the past. People, wake up, get your head out of your ass, and stop. All right, if you want to leave your dumbass comments, go ahead and leave your dumbass comments. We still want to hear your dumbass comments. But let me just tell you, maybe you ought to stop being lazy and look into what's actually going on with the DeFi Kingdoms team. Because let me tell you right now, the team, Frizzy Fox, has a heart of gold. The team is the real deal, baby. And finally, what happened was DeFi Kingdoms got on the next crypto gym, baby. And we started connecting with George. We started finally getting through to George. Dreamer was in there. What we've seen, you know, another team that was also in the next crypto gym is WAGMI Games, for example. And, you know, we're talking to Dreamer. We're talking to those guys saying, hey, look at Scott with WAGMI Games. He's all over the place. He's jumping on people's streams. He's always putting out, you know, content with the game. He's all excited. He brings high energy. All right, you guys got to step it up on that messaging, marketing, communication, PR. George is like, ooh, man, Dreamer's awesome. He's one of the guys I respect, you know, a lot in crypto. But here's the problem. We don't know. George was saying, Dreamer, I don't know if you're going to survive. You got to get out there. And of course, I was all over their ass about this all the time. I was all over Bolin's ass all the time. Bolon, baby. And Bolon had a lot of reasons to be bitter against me. I'll tell you that. But instead of getting bitter against me, Bolon was kind. And it really spoke volumes to me. Maturity there. He responded with kindness. And he listened and made big changes. Right at the time when I was like frustrated and I needed to take a break. Dreamer responds and is like, all right, bitches. Sunbear, hold my beer, baby. Dreamer's saying, hey, look, you guys have no clue. You guys have no idea. We've been grinding for 80 hours a week, 90 hours a week. I hardly sleep. Grinding all the time. A lot of the guys, a lot of us, we're hardly getting paid. We're hardly making any money. Guys like Bolon, hardly getting paid. Often, you know, they went long periods of time without getting paid at all. I don't even know if Frisky Fox has even gotten paid at all. Okay. And Dreamer's like, look, Sunbear, who, by the way, is a PhD psychologist, Dreamer's brother, who's also on the team, part of the dream team, baby, helping make connections and partnerships, which is also what Dreamer was doing a lot of. You know, Dreamer, his head was so deep, you know, trying to work all his connections and deals. He wasn't out there on Twitter much and on socials and getting on people's streams and doing stuff like that. He's busy. He's working 80 hours a week. Well, look, Dreamer says, Sunbear, bro, step it up. And Sunbear's been doing it. And Dreamer, all of a sudden, what's he doing? He's fighting this fight, the IFC, baby. We're all George. Karate Combat. He's doing it to get out there for DeFi Kingdoms. Okay? He's jumping on streams. Every time I get on Twitter, there's Dreamer. Dreamer's here. He's all over the place. He's on this. I mean, it's like he's on Twitter more than I am. Jumping out in front of the FUD all the time. All this dumbass comments about DeFi Kingdoms. He's jumping out in front of it, baby. We start seeing this. I start like, oh, I'm waking back up all of a sudden. Like, oh, let's go. DeFi Kingdoms. Let's go, Dreamer. And then boom, they hire our man, Pervy Sage, Workhorse, who, you know, just by the way, was the co-founder of one of the largest esport broadcasting companies, like in America, Wisdom Gaming, with like 90 some employees, you know, no biggie, super big brains, hilarious, Workhorse, Pervy Sage, you know, not a bad addition to the team who's developing the game, super geek nerd, big brains guy, phenomenal. Okay, then they hire KP, baby, Christian Peter, my man, who is not only an awesome dev, super knowledgeable about all things crypto, he's also an awesome content creator, like the total package. They couldn't have found better hires. All right? And they've been developing this game out deep, hardcore, big brains, phenomenal tokenomics, so much going, and it's been going the whole time. They haven't stopped. They haven't stopped this whole time. The fundamentals of this project are as good as anything you're ever gonna see in all of crypto, baby. What about the game? Let me tell you, it's big brains. All right, we've been playing recently Champions Arena. Gala Games putting out some awesome stuff out there. Champions Arena is one of them, like AAA rated. It's very similar to DeFi Kingdoms. Let me tell you, the graphics are cool. It's like, looks cool. It's got a lot of money behind the game. All right, it's like AAA rated. All right, let me tell you this. When you look under the hood of the game, it's very similar, like a 3 versus 3 type environment. You got 3 heroes going against somebody else's 3 heroes. You're fighting. They all got skill codexes in the game. Let me tell you this. When you play DeFi Kingdoms, the skill codexes are on a whole nother level, baby. So big brains. I would say the DeFi Kingdoms game that's being built out by our boys, Hubert Cumberdale, Pervy Sage Workhorse, and the crew. It is so big brains, it's like 3x the complexity of the skill codexes. Plus, on top of that, you have the abilities, or the skills, and the genetics of the heroes. It's all big brains. It's phenomenal. You're not ever going to see, I've never seen anything like it, and any big gamer that knows games like that are like, oh, damn. And they get all into DeFi Kingdoms. When anybody looks into it, when you look what's under the hood of DeFi Kingdoms, like the NFTs are the most complex NFTs in all of existence. The DeFi Kingdoms heroes, if you got a DeFi Kingdoms hero, you have the most complex NFT in all of crypto, baby. Phenomenal. Big brains. The game is a game changer. It's pixel art. I like it. It's kind of nostalgic. You might not like it at first, but believe me, it'll grow on you. Second best dad, baby. Doing all the artwork, the pets, the complexity. We got crafting coming where there's going to be weapons. The in-game economy is so big brains. Shout out to Hubert and Dreamer, okay, on these things. It is like big brains. Phenomenal game coming. Freaking gem of gems in all of crypto. Period. It is the most underrated project, the most underrated game. Nobody's talking about it. Everybody's kicking them while they're down. Now people are starting to wake up. Well, why? I'm out there talking to George, trying to reach out to guys like Crypto Crow, but now it's Dreamer. Dreamer's in the IFC. Dreamer's continuously connecting with George, connecting with people out there like Brian D. Evans, connecting with people like Crypto Crow. When I talk to these guys, I'm just some guy out there, right, who's a crypto's #1 shit show head case. But when Dreamer talks to George and really pins him down like a butterfly on a killing board, when Dreamer's talking to Crypto Crow, that's a game changer, baby. He carries that weight. By the way, Goldman Sachs former executive, hello, dream team of all dream teams, people, hello, people. And so George, yeah, the more he talks to Dreamer, and then, talking with me all the time, talking with George all the time, every day, okay, nonstop. And then, Dreamer's up, talking with him all the time. He's always out there. He's on Twitter Spaces yesterday with Altcoin Daily. He's always out there on every Twitter Space with Crypto Stash, Classy Gains, all kinds of people out there. All right. And now George is like, I don't got enough. I need to buy more Jewel, baby. Let's go. Right. And so now he's talking about it all the time. He's like, talks about it every day on his show. We had Crow talking about it. We did a whole show with Crypto Crow talking about it. That's why it's pumping. Are there a whole bunch of, is it the game? Is it the game that's causing Jewel to pump? What's causing Jewel to pump? Let me tell you, boys and girls, we are just getting started. Here's why Jewel's pumping. Yeah, obviously the game helps. Just for the sake of the narrative that, hey, it is a game. All right, that was big for George. It's big for all of us. We got updates coming out the yin yang. You trying to follow this project will make your head spin. There's new updates coming out every week. They tell us all about it. In the AMAs, we always know what's going on with the team. Dreamer's doing better with all this stuff. He's out there. He's all over the place. That has been the game changer. George talking about it. Crow's talking about it. More and more people are talking about it. And guess what? As people, we've brought in tens of people to the game. Maybe new people. Wait until the game starts becoming more and more mass adopted. Look out, boys and girls. It will melt faces. Jewel will melt faces. We've been saying this for a long time. My price point is $100 Jewel. Easy. If the game really hits, we've been saying this. There's no reason why Jewel isn't already. We've been saying this all along. Jewel should have been a top 100 project, a top 100 market cap coin. We've been saying this for months, for a year. We've been saying this for over a year and a half. There's no reason why it's not a top 100 coin as it is. Now, as the game develops out and the game gets adopted, look out, people. I think Jewel, if the game is a huge smashing hit, PvE, we got land coming, we got land tournaments coming, we got all these different things coming. It's going to make your head spin. The ecosystem is so vast. Crafting, it's also big brains. It is so mind-blowing, this game. You have no idea. Stop being lazy. Stop following bullshit narratives. Get out there and look. We got lots of people out there. We got the Mythic Squad. We got Sticks Intern. We got Sergeant Filthy McNasty, Christian Peter. We got About Life Podcast. All these guys out there, the jewelers and the trade room, all these guys doing content on this all the time. Dags and all those different people. We got Starbuck. We got Mosh. All kinds of people out there. Justice Beaver. The Mythic Squad. It never ends. Tons of people putting out content, showing us how to do things in the game all the time. Look out. We haven't even started. Jewel, yes. Jewel's up, 6x or something from the lows. 8x. Okay? We haven't even started yet. Wait until this game starts getting mass adoption, baby. And so I'd say we're just getting started, boys and girls. I see people out there, they're talking about doing early withdrawals to take profits on their jewel. Well, when you pull out of the jeweler, it's a 50% penalty, which all of that jewel gets burned, by the way. 50% of all the jewel pulled out of the jeweler gets burned. People are doing that. I'm like, look, it's either going to make it or it's not. If it makes it, look out. Look, this thing could even blow past $100 per jewel someday. So I just keep going into the gardens or stacking that jewel, baby. Different things. Look out what's to come. On our way to Miami, bunking out there with Dreamer. Baby, let's go. There's so much more I could tell you about the ecosystem, the big brains, the genius behind it. I think we're going to see, as the game develops out, more's coming, especially when crafting comes. Look out on the value of the items in the game that have been so decimated over time. And even things like the power tokens. Every time, to play the game, you got to use the power tokens. The summoning is so genius, the way the genetics works with the heroes and trying to summon those awesome heroes with the awesome abilities and the better rarity. That's where the Dark Summoner comes in. Okay. And every time you use those, you got to have the power tokens. That's what you use for the summoning. That's what you use for the duels. There's so many different facets of the game as well that people, they're sleeping on it. Okay. And the fees in the tavern when you're buying and selling heroes. Little fees, there's a lot of them. It happens all the time. Well, 25% of all of the usage of the power tokens are burned. And in duels, it's 75% of those are burned, or maybe it's 50% of those are burned. In the token offerings where you enter raffles using crystal, 50 or 75% of that is burned. That's why we're at 7.5 million crystal burned, which is more than even the jewel. Okay. And then also big brains about it with the jeweler, the way you can earn interest on your jewel. Well, where does the jewel come from? it's not being minted, here's what happens. The power tokens are auto-sold, a percentage of it, every time they're used for summoning, for example. 15% of those power tokens are auto-sold into Jewel to supply the jeweler. That's how that works. There's so many phenomenal big brains mechanisms in the game. It will blow your mind. Things like tiers, things like runes. We've already seen those pump up a lot. We haven't even started yet, boys and girls. The value of heroes will go up as well once there's more utility for the items. When crafting comes, things like potions needed for the boar hunts, that's coming. Now I think they give them to us, but soon we're gonna have to craft those. That takes items. You get the items from questing. So that's what we've been doing with our heroes all along. Well, all those items have plummeted down to nothingness. Okay, but we've seen before, we've seen tiers 50x before. We've seen the Mashka runes. I mean, 50x, something like that. That's where they are right now. And it hasn't even started yet, boys and girls. We're just getting started. Peace.